That one. So, hello everyone. Happy Thursday as usual. Let's all together check how's it going in Zoom. Can everyone hear us?
Practice session. It looks like it's locked in.
Now it's
should be...
a webinar.
Yep, we're
Guys
good.
in Zoom,
Perfect.
can you tell us if you can hear us or not? And guys on YouTube, the same question for you. And once we confirm that everything is working well, we are good to go. All right. Zoom is great. You can hear us, you can see us, and that's amazing. All right.
It's very good. It's very
great,
good.
Guys. Happy Thursday, and we are first Thursday of the summer 2026. By the way, interesting fact for all of you. Just had a quite interesting conversation with Lachlan. Lachlan, maybe some quick insight into what's about to happen.
Mate, people are throwing rockets at each other again. So we had a big sell down, huge sell down on the S&P last night. Again, they triggered 3 daily shorts all in a row, massive sell down. So today they're probably just going to try and recover about 50% of that sell down. We've got no news and we've got massive S&P volume. So it should be a really good day. We've just got to make sure we get on the right side of it.
All right. Then from my side, I'm just gonna make a quick reminder to all of you, although we know that here we basically trade only futures, but we have some good news for traders who are interested in trading CFDs. We have removed risk per trade idea and margin use per trade idea for accounts except 100K and 200K one phase. So in case you are interested in getting a CFD account and you didn't like the rule, now we don't have this rule anymore. So enjoy, guys. Less rules for you. And from my side, I'm going to give the word to Lachlan and wish you a very, very successful session.
Thank you, Christian. That's brilliant. So guys, a good thing about CFDs is, again, CFDs do allow you to hold a position for far longer than what we would normally do. So again, that's actually really good fun. Let me grab your screen. Make sure you can see what I can see, which I trust you can. Guys, so the webinar people, you should be good to go. VMix looks like they're ready to rock and roll as well. So guys, we'll get into it. I'd say welcome, guys. My name is Lockie. It is the 4th of June. So yes, guys, this is our first Thursday, not only in the European summer, but also, guys, in the Okinawa summer. And can I tell you, it is very tropical outside. There is no doubt about that at all. So what we're going to do today, guys, big meltdown on the American markets last night because people were basically throwing rockets at each other. So again, a little bit of uncertainty came into the market. Allegedly, the peace deal is still on, and the truce, the ceasefire is still on. Seems to be one of those funny ceasefires where you're still allowed to fire things at each other, but the ceasefire is still in effect. If you can help me out, guys, understanding how that works, that would be fantastic. Because as I was saying to Christian before, I thought a ceasefire meant you ceased firing, but that's obviously too old school, I would suggest. So guys, what does it mean for us today? We're just going to focus on candlesticks. We're going to do what we're really, really good at. We can't solve global political issues in this forum, so we'll just let them do what they need to do. So guys, what have we got? Today? We are going to be running the European Open LTR. The markets are quite volatile. S&P volume's just under 85,000, which is good fun. Guys, we are going to be running the LTR today. Big shout out again, big thank you to TTP, guys, for allowing us to do this for them. Guys, the key with a trading room is I do believe it's a really, really good training ground for professional traders. Guys, this thing we do trading is not easy, but it is incredibly simple. Guys, if you just wait for the perfect signal to show up and then take that perfect signal. Guys, so today, again, one of the keys of trading in a live trading room is, again, if you feel this fear of missing out, you feel this FOMO thing, wow, the market is running without me. One of our goals is to make sure that everybody realizes that the market is not running without you. And in actual fact, it's all about basically waiting for the market to come to you. So what we want to do, guys, in a well-run trading room, we want to focus on proof of performance. We want to build confidence. There's obviously nowhere to hide. And it's a really, really good opportunity, guys. It's a really good opportunity. If you have any questions at all about anything that we do, it's a really good opportunity to get those questions answered, which is always good fun. Now, guys, because we are across multiple jurisdictions today, of which the strictest jurisdictions in the world are actually Australia and New Zealand, guys, Australia and New Zealand, we'll run through a number of customer caution notices. Firstly and foremost, guys, there are two risks. There are two risks in trading. There's a risk of making money and losing money every time we take a trade. Because we are trading futures, some of you are trading CFDs, guys. We do trade on margin. Guys, I'm just mucking around with other computers, guys, at the moment. Let me do that for you. Boom. Okay, done. Perfect. So guys, margin means we borrow a little bit of money every time we take a trade. What does that ultimately mean? Guys, the risk of making money is higher. The risk of losing money is higher. So we are ultimately professional risk controllers. Guys, further to that, guys, everything we do in the education space is general information only. Past performance of all financial products can no longer be used as an indication of future performance. And guys, we've got an additional thing going on called market risk factors. Basically, we're trading over the internet. Guys, as much as that enables us to basically travel all over the world and do whatever we would like to do, trading over the internet does add an additional risk to what we're doing, guys. So I'll try and guide you in and out of the market as best as I can, guys, as per the Samurai 101 course. Guys, at the end of the day, there is no guarantee you'll be able to get in where I want you to get in and get out where I want you to get out, but you might actually get in earlier and get out earlier as well, guys. So this is not all negative, guys. This is not all negative. All right, now we've covered our market risk factors. Guys, basically, who am I? I'm the lead, guys. I'm the lead trader and also the head coach at Samurai Day Trading, guys, out of Singapore. Guys, I did open a futures only dedicated trading school, guys, in Australia on the 1st of August 2009. Guys, we now operate out of Singapore. Guys, I've had an opportunity to educate people all over the world, and I'm very, very passionate, guys, about this thing called trading. Guys, I do bring a military perspective to what we do. Guys, that military perspective is all about discipline and patience. I did spend 15 years in the Army, guys. It was absolutely incredible. Guys, if you're not following us on social media and you're a fan of social media, please do. Guys, if I talk about anything today, guys, and you need a little bit of a hand, best thing, tech support, guys, info@samuraidaytrading.com, or again, everything else, guys, through to say hello at samuraidaytrading.com. Guys, we've got the wonderful Sally Ann, guys, is running that Say Hello email account, and she's doing an absolutely fantastic job, guys, working out what we do, why we do it, how we do it. She's also studying the 101 course, guys, and Sally will also be attending the Platinum program, guys, in Bali in November as a student of the course. So this will be quite good fun. Now, guys, we do run a monthly online trader support meeting, guys. Basically, we focus on what works and we don't focus on what doesn't work. So the most important thing, guys, if you're not part of the community yet, you can come along to that free monthly hub. We just ran that. Guys, so every month on the last Thursday of the month, we run this support meeting. So if you've got any questions at all, guys, any concerns, hey, Lockie, why do we do fibs this way or that way or so on, guys, that is a really, really good forum, guys, to bring that question to. Guys, if you're not a member of Samurai, guys, if you're out there in the world and you're not a member of Samurai, guys, there is a free membership available, guys, through the Samurai website. So, guys, just basically click log on, and then you can create a free membership. There's some resources in there, guys, to help you understand what we do. So, guys, in the FDAX trading room this afternoon, you might be able to hear, guys, the Nasdaq trading room is running in the background. Guys, Marcus is running that for us today. Guys, we're going to follow exactly the same strategy. Josh, how are you? MJ, Dan, how are you? So, hi everybody. Hope you're brilliant. Guys, we're going to follow effectively the same strategy we have done, guys, since 2009. We're going to use the FESX as our reference chart. We've got a 15-minute chart, guys. We're looking for key failure points there. And ultimately, we're going to be executing on the 5-minute chart. The 4 strategies, guys, I'm most focused on are over there on the left-hand side, highlighted in red. As they effectively, guys, as much as some of the names have changed, they have not actually changed in terms of intent or content, guys, since 2009. I was at a really, really good coaching session today with a young guy called David. Guys, at the end of the day, he said, Lockie, what fascinates me about this stuff is it basically just keeps repeating over and over again. Guys, the beauty of what we do, guys, the beauty of what we do is the patterns that were working 10 or 12 years ago are still working perfectly now. So there is no need to add new indicators, add this, add that, guys. It's just not required. We can just get on with the job. Guys have been really, really good at the game of trading. So let me just exit that for you. So I'll exit that for you. What I am going to do is bring up the charts, make sure you can see the charts clearly, which I do believe you can. Guys, we're going to go to the FESX first. The FESX has just moved through a very, very key level in the market, guys. It's actually a 4-hour swing trigger long, which they have just triggered. So again, we'll break down these larger charts. I'll just make sure that line is straight for you. Because what occurred last night is the S&P 500 triggered multiple daily shorts. They've been setting that up for some time. Guys, we got quite a big drop. On the European market, but compared to the US market, the US market's gone down a lot further. Ultimately, what does it mean? If the US market wants to repair some of the damage, it's going to turn around and run back the other way today, and the Europeans will almost be forced to follow. As on the daily chart, what we need to recognize at this point in time is the buyers own the stair step. So we're looking for small selling base reversals. We don't have one of those at this point in time. As what I would suggest today, again, I've drawn my 60-minute Fibonacci down to catch them on the way up because I'd already used my 4-hour and already used my daily. FESX, guys, did not close the gap to the downside yesterday, but the FDAX went a lot further and the FDAX has closed that. What does it mean at this stage, guys? There's no signals on the daily chart that are really drawing our attention, or the weekly or the monthly. Guys, down to the 240. Guys, this is the 4-hour swing trigger that these guys are currently playing with just here. The key with swing triggers is they're always traded with the step and the trend. At this point in time, they've only got the step and they don't have the trend. What I'm fascinated by, guys, every time these guys trade into the middle of the MDI, they normally get caught. So these 4-hour chart traders, these people who have gone basically early, jump the gun, they're jumping the gun based on effectively a swing trigger long, but they're missing a key component. What does that mean, guys? I don't think if this buying was to keep running towards the open, if it does keep running towards the open, I don't think it's going to be sustained throughout the open. Guys, I do think we're probably going to head down a little bit lower unless the S&P 500 just decides it's going to drag all day. So I've got the S&P over here on another screen. As while I'm looking at that, let me look at the Japanese close, because I did get asked some really good questions yesterday at Japanese close. And the Japanese close has basically, guys, they've cruised down and set up a really lovely reversal, and now they're running in that reversal to the high side. So even the Japanese traders think the S&P 500 should be going up. All right, down to the 60-minute chart. Guys, I'm very, very interested in the 60-minute chart today. The 4-hour chart is a little bit of a non-event, guys. 60-minute chart, we can see here you've got a number, particularly that one rated candle there, guys, a number of really, really lovely reversals to the high side. That level there, guys, 60.57 is going to be really important for us on the FESX today, because if these buyers try early and fail and we get back under 60.57, Caleb, how are you? If we get back under 60.57, that's a big hint that we're going to be going short. Big hint that we're going short. So let's put a little line on 60.57, 60.58. I'll borrow this line from down the bottom. There's 57. Here's 58. Wow, these guys. Okay, no, this is good. We don't mind when they do this. This actually makes our job relatively easy. So that there. Oh, whoopsie, boom. Okay, so that black line, guys, that top black line is going to be quite important. That is a 60-minute long. Now the question is, can it hold? Now the beauty, guys, the beauty of this little comment here is if this 60 minute can hold, it means that again these guys are likely to go up for another 60 minutes. If the 60 minute can't hold, they're probably going to sell down for the majority of 60 minutes. We don't know what they're going to do yet. As other than if I show you a daily chart on the S&P 500, all right, here's the S&P 500. There are the three shorts that they trigger. Guys, the strongest short is this one here, this little static bar reversal with the minus 12 rating underneath it. So they've basically collapsed through that short there last night. So this is what the S&P did. Guys, big sell down. It is relatively normal, guys, relatively normal after a big sell down like that they basically try and climb back up to at least the 38 Fibonacci of this candle. Guys, so if you're an S&P 500 trader, guys, you could very happily consider drawing a Fibonacci down that 1440 candle, and you would expect them to either climb up and fail at the 23 or climb up and fail at the 38. Interesting point. If very, very early in the session, guys, they climb up and they can't even get anywhere near the 23 fib, the Fibonacci extension from that daily candle takes us all the way down to closing this gap. All right, so the S&P 500 guys, has still got a gap down here that they need to close. That big daily bar, the Fibonacci extensions, will very happily take us all the way down the bottom of the jar there. No question about that at all. All right, so we'll keep a very close eye. Guys, keep a very, very close eye on the S&P as we roll into the open. So good day, everybody. I hope you are well. Ben, how are you? Caleb, I've seen you. I hope you're amazing. Who's that? Byron, sorry. Hoping you'll learn and replicate some of the successes. Looking forward to the journey. Josh, how are you? I hope you're brilliant. Mate, it's going to be good fun today because we've got really good volume. S&P 500 now just under 87,000. Right? So Byron, really good question. Really good point. If you've got any questions at all, right, please don't be shy. As a rule, mate, as a rule of thumb, beginner traders normally wait for the candle to close before they make a decision on the candle. So wait for the candle to close before you make a decision. I'll be calling two trades today, dynamic and static. You'll be chasing the static ones, not the dynamic ones. And we typically, mate, we don't take a trade in the last 90 seconds of each 5-minute candle unless there is a pivot involved. But that'll become really obvious really quickly as we get into it. So a little bit more, guys, on the FESX here. Guys, basically, can they hold a 60-minute long? If they can't, we know what that means. We're going to see a really lovely sell down. Further to that, guys, we've got a swing trigger long here. So the question is, can they hold it? Down here, we've got an old 4-hour long. As again, because of the big sell down on the US markets last night, the FDAX got heavily sold off. I say typically, but we're not going to kind of crystal ball it. Typically, these guys will try and repair some of the damage from yesterday. If they decide not to do that, guys, then we're gonna see a series of big bounding sell candles. And if we get those, guys, the trend indicator will switch negative, and then we can look for some big ones. Now, Breezy, ratios. Yeah, they are important. They are very important. Okay, FDAX, guys. So the FDAX, what have we got time-wise? We've got 12 minutes, or 10 minutes, 11 minutes. We've got really good time. So, okay, back to the weekly chart. So what's going on up here? As we've spoken about, guys, a million times, we've got this minus 60 rated static bar reversal short. So for those that are brand new to the session, the indicators that we've developed since 2009 actually tell us how strong the buyers or the sellers are. So we kind of, you could say we're cheating, but it's kind of fun cheating. It's not silly cheating. So this one here is a very, very strong weekly sell down. What's occurred? Obviously, we're selling down quite nicely, which is good fun. Down to the daily chart, guys, you can see the sell down on the FDAX was really quite brutal last night compared to the FESX, which did not close its gap. All right, so the FDAX has closed its gap. Guys, the FESX has not, but we have further distance to travel, guys. The FDAX has actually got a gap. Guys, the FDAX has actually got a gap all the way down here, that at some point in time, it's got to close this gap. Right. That's a massive sell down, guys. If somebody fired, obviously people are firing rockets at each other at the moment. If someone was to fire a semi-tac nuke, or even pretend they were going to fire one of those, then the Europeans will literally run down and close this gap. Now, I don't want that to occur, guys. That's obviously got ramifications. But either way, because it's going to be that kind of global trigger. It'll be that kind of global trigger. We've got a gap to close down the bottom. We've got this gap to close here. At some point in time, they will be closed. What does it ultimately mean? I've put a daily Fibonacci extension. So I put a daily extension down this little candle at the top here. I'll just put an arrow on it so it's super clear. Right, I have put a Fibonacci on this here, and I run my extension down. Guys, what I note, guys, after big sell downs like this, they normally cruise down. Can everybody see here? They've literally today, they've bounced off the 100% extension. What does it ultimately mean? If we were to sell down a little bit further today and we go through the 133 extension, a lot of the daily traders who are short underneath that daily static bar reversal, guys, we spoke about this yesterday. Everybody short underneath that daily SBR will be trying to push down to the 133 extension, which is down here. They might try and push through that, tag the 141.4 and stall there. What does it ultimately mean, guys? If we buy early, and fail, the sellers may decide they want to push down. They're going to trigger this sell. So they're going to trigger this sell here on the way to the 133, 141.4, 150. As I note with interest, we always look for agreement between Fibonacci's. You've got a perfect agreement here between a Fibonacci extension and a Fibonacci retracement, right? So the Fibonacci retracement for the new traders, the Fibonacci retracement is drawn up to catch them on the way down. The Fibonacci extension has basically said, I wonder where they're going to control their risk along the way. Traditionally, the 100% extension is where the institutional traders will start to basically control their risk. So why have we bounced here? Because a whole lot of people today said, we sold the market yesterday, we're now going to buy it because it's at the 100 extension. So that's the only reason we're buying today, is people getting out of their sells, and the only way to get out of their sells is naturally to buy, which is what they've ultimately done. All right, so down to the 4-hour chart, guys, our time is looking pretty good. Down to the 4-hour chart. Okay, what do I see, guys? What do I see on the 4-hour chart? Effectively, I've got a very, very weak, in terms of ratios, I've got quite a weak 4-hour long. It's got a quite weak 4-hour long. Basically, if it does run, and we don't know what they're going to do just yet, if it does run, again, to really grab my attention. All right, can everybody see this minus 12 rated SBR is all the way up the top of the jar here? Now, because we've had these sellers push through and fail, if we got anywhere near the body of that SBR, then we would be saying, hey, these guys are going to get a wriggle on. Based on the S&P, right? It's very hard to pick today, guys. Based on the S&P 500, as if we get an early buy, on the European markets and that fails, this becomes a 4-hour swing trigger short. That is a dirty trigger. This is a clean trigger. So if we get anywhere near, guys, yesterday's low on the FDAX, it is a 4-hour swing trigger short with massive extensions. As the 4-hour extension, just to give you an idea, if they follow their normal mathematics, right, there's leg 1 of your extension. So leg 2 of your extension takes you down here. That's enormous stuff, right? So if these 4-hour traders basically fail to impress anybody, yesterday's low really important, right? So let's go and have a look. What we are going to do across here on yesterday's low. Time is pretty good. Giz, how are you? Hope you're brilliant. Okay, so what we're going to do down here, guys, just put a little note because if we get down here, so YL is a 4-hour swing trigger short. Okay, so we'll put that down there, guys, just because in the heat of the battle, we forget about these things because you sort of get caught in the 5-minute candlesticks and forget what's going on a little bit larger. 60-minute chart goes straight away. I've got all these beautiful buying signals, guys, all the way through here. So again, if we start to see these buying signals fail, of which that one is insanely strong, to the 854. Okay. Right, so all of these guys, all of these things I'm marking as 60-minute longs. What we're actually doing is we're watching to see what the market does. So if the market pushes up and then closes above on the 5-minute chart, if the market does push up and then close above, then that is a sign that the 60-minute chart traders are actually trying to gather momentum. But if we push back through one of those and we turn around and fail, if we turn around and fail there, it means that they might be turning around and coming back the other way. All right, now, so 60-minute chart, we know about these guys. There will be a Fibonacci. Guys, there will be a Fibonacci on, there will be a Fibonacci on the 60-minute chart that runs simply from here to here. That'll be the most conventional Fibonacci. I note that the 50 fib is just here, happens to coincide with that 60-minute long. So if we do push up early, fail at the 50 fib, guys, and we fail to hold the long, happens to be at that daily Fibonacci extension, then we could actually see quite a sustained move to the downside. 15-minute chart, just making sure that we've got all of our bases covered. There is going to be a very shallow fib. I was running from here to here. There to there. Now that's a 15-minute fib. So Diane, how are you? Toby, how are you? Giz, how are you? So hi everybody. Sam, you are funny. Let me put a 15-minute on. So for the brand new traders, only the experienced traders will trade the opening candle. Right. So I'll identify the trade for you, but I would suggest for the opening candle traders, the pre-top and the previous pivot. Guys, pre-top and previous pivot are actually looking pretty good at this point. Back down to the 5-minute chart. Guys, this red level here is a very, very key 4-hour low point. So if we start showing strong closes above that, guys, then that's a hint that the 4-hour traders are coming in and saying, hey, we want to go long. As we've got a 60-minute long here, we've got a 60-minute long here. You can see how these guys have gapped over the 60-minute long. Now they're bouncing off the 60-minute long, trying to push us up. But if they can't do well with that, guys, then obviously the weight of the market will be to the downside. Down here, guys, very, very key 60-minute low. So again, if we push down here and bounce off it, means they're defending it. If we close below it, they're going for yesterday's low. If they go for yesterday's low, and they're honoring, guys. So today we've basically started at the 100% daily extension. It does mean the daily traders are going to push for that 133 extension. What does that mean, guys? If we buy early and fail early, and the failure is quite impressive. So if we buy early and fail early, then guys, we're looking for a long range sell versus a long range buy. Okay, so long range sell versus long range buy. So we've got about 60 seconds. Andre, how are you? I hope you're fantastic. We've got 60 seconds until the gun goes. So guys, please make sure you've got the right ATMs loaded. You've got the right contracts loaded. If you are copy trading, guys, you've got the right slave accounts and lead accounts loaded. I loaded my charts again today and my copy trader and gone back to the FDAX 12 of 25 contracts. So for some reason it likes backdating contracts. Because what does that mean? You push go and nothing happens on all your copy trade accounts. So just make sure if you're copy trading, just check your contracts, check your contract loading, check everything. For the opening candle traders, 20 seconds until the gun goes. We're looking for that classic 133 Fibonacci extension failure. At this stage, guys, the pre-top is being pushed on this candle, which means that the pre-top trade is looking a little unsexy at this stage. We would need them to push through the previous pivot just like that. You can see when the gun goes, holy moly. So the pre-top reversal, guys, the pre-top reversal is now tradable, but it looks like, guys, the risk is going to carry to be too far. That Fibonacci extension has already expired. There's no doubt about that at all. So that has already expired. So at this stage, the only trade that's setting up, guys, is a previous pivot reversal. I'm going to have to update my Fibonacci's here. Now, again, let's just be acutely aware, please. Acutely aware. Okay, I'm just looking for the Fibonacci extensions. At this stage, guys, the only trade that is setting up for the FDAX traders who trade the opening candle is a previous pivot reversal with really, really tight risk control. There's really tight risk control. Now, again, do I recommend it for beginner traders? Absolutely not, guys. So I don't recommend opening candle trades for beginner traders. As FESX is selling down really nicely, the FESX should normally go to the 50 fib. Normally go to the 50 fib of the day. As normally goes to the 50 fib of the day in the first 10 to 15 minutes, which is what it's pushing down to do at this point in time. So in terms of Fibonacci extension, we might be able to run an extension from a little bit lower, guys, a little bit lower. So the extension might run from here to here. I'm looking for those key Fibonacci numbers. We're not at that extension either. Giz, well done. So well done, well done. Now, let's have a look Fibonacci-wise. So the only thing, guys, we're only 2 minutes in. The only thing that's setting up is a previous pivot reversal. That's only for the opening candle traders. May I suggest, guys, perfect. FESX has gone to the 50 fib of the day, so they're perfectly on script today. We will need permission, guys. We will need permission from the FESX to trade until we know what these guys are doing. That 4-hour fib, have a quick look. That 4-hour fib at this point in time can go. And guys and girls, if they chase the 4-hour 50 fib, which they're famous for doing, the 4-hour 50 fib will take them a significant distance to the high side. So let's just do this. Here we go. Okay. So we'll just, 858, 60-minute long. All right, so that's what the FDAX traders are doing. They're declaring their cards pretty early. That's the very strong long, guys, we were talking about, which is great. We can now strip some fibs away. Perfect. All right, so at this stage, guys, we'll let the candle close. That definitely has gone far enough now to be at the 133 extension. So it simply means that they are effectively doing what they normally do. Yeah, there's the 133 fib right there. Okay, so Shelton, well done. So anybody that did take the previous pivot reversal, it hasn't impressed. It's gone through the first target and risk control point, but it hasn't done anything impressive yet. For the new traders, guys, our risk control point. So for the new traders, our risk control point is 5 points on the FDAX. So I'll give you your entry point. Your risk control will be 5 points. Risk control will be 5 points beyond that. Now, with our climactic reversal, so opening candle is clearly climactic. At this stage, it is not going to be efficient. So what we're looking for, FESX, these guys obviously burnt a ton of volume. They burn a ton of volume selling the market down, guys. Now they're going to try and close above their pre-top. If they close above their pre-top, this candle will be climactic. So we are looking potentially to pick up a short on the FDAX. Now, that means entering outside the range of the active candle. So we're going to wait for this candle to close. We're going to confirm that it is extreme volume. All right, so we're going to confirm it is definitely extreme volume. At this stage, guys, we would like to see the buyers push up inside the new candle. So we want the buyers to push up inside the new candle, fail at a known area, and then we're looking to short. All right, so at this stage, I need the buyers to push up. In fact, 100%, guys, the FESX is gapped up to the high side. So the buyers must push up, must fail at a known area. And at this stage, guys, if you are a climactic reversal trader, your entry is 1 point underneath the active candle, which is currently an entry at 887. So if you are a climactic reversal trader, you've got your higher high, guys, which is good. If you are going to go short, guys, on the FDAX, it's a 887 entry with an 882 risk control point. So 887 entry, 882 risk control point. Now, that being said, as this is only for those people that trade climactic reversals, as volatility is currently quite low. So again, we're using a low first target and risk control. If you are short at 887, guys, your first target is 882, right? First target is 882. For the slightly more experienced traders, your second target is 876. As for the even more experienced traders, well done, Giz, nice work. So the junior traders, you guys have gone short for 5. Senior traders have gone short for 5 and 20 or 10 and 20 if you are a climactic reversal trader. Now, guys, I'd suggest, okay, the failure point is all about this previous 240 open that's through the chart here. So anyone that's gone short, Byron, nice work, mate. Anyone that's gone short, guys, you should be straight through your first 5-point target. No questions about that at all. As now we're basically saying, I wonder if the sellers are going to move this. I wonder if the sellers are going to move it even further. So I wonder if they are going to effectively move it further than what they're doing. So we'll just see, guys. We'll just see what the sellers have got for us. So I'm just positioning sell orders myself. In fact, perfect failure on the FDAX. Absolutely brilliant failure. So for the experienced traders, guys, if you're short, guys, and I want you to hold it, guys, for around about a 20-point target, you would be short down to just above the previous pivot if you're being careful. If you're being a little bit more aggressive, guys, you're going to try and run it down to the pre-top. So just reiterating for the brand new traders. So reiterating, please, for the brand new traders, if you are short, you've already gone through your first target and you've already gone through your risk control point. Okay, most important, you've gone through your first target, you've gone through your risk control. You've gone through first target, gone through risk control, and everything is looking good. All right, please don't leave your stops hanging out on this one. And so again, well done, guys, well done. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little yellow circle for you. I'm going to put that on, as we can come back and debrief as we need to. Okay, so let's just see what these guys do. Now, what have we got? So last 90 seconds, again, for the new traders, we don't enter any new trades in the last 90 seconds. So we don't enter new trades in the last 90 seconds. You'll see the little countdown cruise down here. So we are looking at a ratio-based static bar reversal setting up. What I would really, really love to see is if we are going to get that ratio-based, if we are going to get a ratio-based SBR, I just want a really, really lovely drop in ratios, as was said earlier, ratio. I need to see the buyers show on the next candle. There's no question about that. Very important to watch what the FESX is doing as well. Yes, mate, spot on the mark. Right, spot on the mark. So we just got to keep an eye on the FESX. That'll give us permission. Now, what's occurred, guys, on the opening candle? We've actually sold down. We've got below this swing trigger, the 4-hour swing trigger, and also the 60-minute long, and they've basically triggered those trades. Now, what does that mean? As we've just got to be careful. In fact, there's a better Fibonacci here. That Fibonacci there. Okay, that brings this 50 fib into context, which is really good. All right, so at this stage, As what we're getting is we're getting a really stunning ratio drop on the FESX as well, guys. So the FESX buyers are actually failing to impress. So that ultimately means, guys, if we do get a really nice buying push early on in this candle, so if we do get a really nice little buying push, as we're looking to try and sell the market, I do want a really nice buying push to come through. As again, let's just watch what they do. The ratio drop at the top of the FDAX is really quite special. Let's just see what the sellers are going to do here. Okay, so the buyers are showing for a second time. Buyers are showing for a second time. It would be really nice, guys, it'd be really great to see the buyers push in. Really great to see the buyers push in before we then pick up a sell on the FDAX to the downside. All right, let's just see what they do. So we've got a little bit of buyers pushing in. Guys, they're tinkering around that 240 open. Now, technically, guys, we don't have a higher high yet for an entry underneath that red static bar reversal. If the buyers do push into this area a number of times, and then the sellers grab them, we are likely to get a sell down. So again, we're just going to watch very, very closely to see what the sellers do. So we've had one buying campaign that got hit. Guys, what they will be watching very closely is this pink Fibonacci here. So I've got a higher high on the FESX. I don't have a higher high on the FDAX at this stage. If we do get a delta V2, on the FDAX at the end of my arrowhead there, if we do get a delta V2, it will look relatively impressive. Jack, you got a 16 and a 20. Okay, that was on the climactic reversal, mate. That's a really lovely trade. Well done. So that's the second buyer campaign, guys, that got hit fairly heavily. So the ultimate test at this stage. So your higher high traders, we don't have a higher high yet in order to go short. Now the ratio drop in the market does say if the buyers push up and fail, guys, we're looking for a really, really lovely short. This is the third buying campaign. Guys, not a lot of selling addressing these buyers at this stage.
FDX 15-minute candle close in 90 seconds. FDXM delta forming. FDX delta confirmed.
Now we do have, guys, tonight we've got our platinum launch webinar on tonight. So if you are a person wanting to jump in on platinum, guys, we have our launch webinar on tonight. We are going to do a fair bit of chart analysis, guys, in that session. So if you do want to look at some slightly more advanced ways of looking at the world, then that'd be a really good webinar to be part of tonight.
5-minute candle close in 60 seconds.
Now at this stage, as the buyers, again, what have we got volume-wise? The buyers are looking relatively strong. Now, the key with the buyers looking relatively strong, we don't have a buy signal. FESX looks like is going to establish, guys, an upper OSR. Okay, so we are at this stage, as we might pick up quite an efficient candle here. So we'll let the candle, guys, count down. I'm just watching what everybody's doing. So
FDX
the
and delta forming.
FDAX, guys, is about to give us an efficient candle long. If we do get, guys, an efficient candle
FDX and
long,
delta forming.
guys, which we
Volume
do
holding
have,
on FDX.
then we've actually gapped over the upper OSR and gapped over a key resistance level. The only way we can go long, guys, the only way we can go long is if we get a valid retrace, and a very, very strong rejection of some key Fibonacci. Now we haven't got that yet. So we haven't got that yet. Okay, I'm just getting rid of an order that's moved too far beyond where I need it to go. So for a long order, guys, understanding how the efficiency works, we would need a structured retrace. We would need a structured retrace and a structured rejection, which at this point in time we don't have. I can get rid of that 4-hour Fibonacci. Yeah, I can get rid of that 4-hour Fib. Okay. So at this stage, guys, we've got a big efficient candle. They've actually jumped over the top. They've jumped over the top of the OSR. Now, what does it ultimately mean? What does it ultimately mean for us? Ratio-based traders, if we got a really nice retrace and a really nice rejection, we would be wanting to run long. That's because we don't have the retrace and rejection. We also don't have a delta. That black diamond delta at the top there, guys, has got a little bit too much risk. Guys, we have a little bit too much risk. Okay, so again, I would suggest at this stage, the delta's got too much risk. We're just going to have to wait for the market to settle a bit, guys, and determine are they going to honor those 4-hour longs. If we did get a retracement, guys, if we did get a really, really lovely retracement here, which we didn't get, we would be long over the top of the candle. So we didn't get what we wanted. So we're just going to have to chill and see what these guys create. Now we were looking for the potential of an early buy in the market. If the early buy doesn't go well, then we are looking for if the early buy doesn't go well, we are looking for a sell down, and the sell down could go for a significant distance. All right, we just don't know yet exactly what they're doing. If we did get a close, guys, back inside the upper OSR there, those 76 fibs look absolutely phenomenal. So we may be picking up a double failure reversal, guys, off those 76s. For those that are new, we need this current candle to fail at the Fibonacci, then the next candle to move back towards the Fibonacci to set up that double failure. At the moment, it's only a single fail. Okay, the S&P 500, just as a reference point, the S&P 500 is actually selling quite nicely. In fact, it set up the most beautiful reversal candle to the downside, as has the NASDAQ as well. So the NASDAQ traders are pretty heavily short.
FDX delta forming. FDX delta confirmed.
All right, so at this stage, again, we haven't got any trade, guys. We haven't got any trade that a junior trader is allowed to take unless you trade a delta outside the range of an efficient candle. Guys, if you do, you've got the 2 black diamond deltas that are on the candle. Provided you can hold the risk of around 20 points, guys, you're allowed to take those deltas. I'd suggest at this stage, guys, we are going to get a brand new efficient candle to the high side on the FDAX. So we're going to get a brand new one. What does that mean? Exactly the same caveat. We're looking for a nice retrace and a nice rejection. Now the FESX, guys, is pushing up towards its R1. So if we do close over the R1, that is obviously a very, very big sign that the FESX is 100% committed to that 4-hour trade that we were talking about earlier, and those key 60-minute levels as well. Those really, really key 60-minute levels. All right, so we'll just wait for this candle to close. Clearly the buyers are very strong. Guys, if anybody is long on any of these deltas, if you're long on any of the deltas, they've obviously gone very, very well. As we have a very strong very strong candle to the high side. The FESX is, however, into its R1. Right, so what does it mean for the FDAX traders? If you get a shallow retrace, I'm just looking at the risk here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, the risk is too much, guys, to send you long, particularly with the FESX into its R1. Right, so the risk is too much, guys, to send you long. The only way we can go long, guys, which would be 1 point over the top of the current candle, is if the sellers retrace down like they are, and then these sellers get absolutely annihilated on both markets simultaneously. All right, so let's keep an eye on this one. S&P, guys, has set up a beautiful reversal short. NASDAQ, stunning reversal short. They're absolutely plummeting to the downside. So we'll just have to see what the Europeans decide to do. At the moment, guys, if we go long over the top of the candle, you're looking at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 points worth of risk. Again, this is a very, very deep retrace, for a market that's meant to be bolting to the high side. What does it ultimately mean? Again, it'll be very interesting to see what these sellers do, particularly with this previous 240 open here. Okay. Again, I don't think the Fibonacci extensions, the Fibonacci extensions have expired, so we don't need those. As that delta V2 on the FDAX at 907, it is straight back into the upper OSR. At the moment, the sellers are quite strong compared to the buyers. That is a slightly rogue entry. What I mean by that is, guys, it's straight back into the upper OSR. Slightly rogue. The FESX is off its R1 and it's got a big distance to its upper OSR. So if the FDAX is going to sell down properly, as it may sell back down inside its upper OSR. So the way that you could deal with that delta quite nicely, the way you could deal with it is basically say, if I get a really, really strong selling candle as in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, if I get a nice strong sell candle, then what I'm ultimately going to do is I'm going to wait for these guys to close inside the upper OSR. So I want the sellers to close down here. I then want the buyers to push back up, and I'm going to try and get that delta entry on a retrace. Now, at this stage, the 15-minute FDAX chart, is clearly weighing in on the 76 Fibonacci's. There's no question about that. All right, so again, guys, in terms of retrace and rejection, if the FESX now climbs over the R1, guys, then we can't short the FDAX. If the FESX gets stuck underneath its R1, then obviously we're looking at shorts. Right now, we're getting a nice little ratio drop. Guys, no question about that. What I'd really love to see for a lovely big reversal is the FESX underneath its R1. So this close is going to be really important. Because we don't enter candles, guys, or trades in the last 90 seconds, even if we wanted a really lovely retrace and a violent rejection, the violent rejection by the buyers of the sellers is now coming too late in the candle. Now, some days that rule keeps us out of really amazing trades. Other days, again, we just want that really early response. This is ultimately what we're after. Now, what we are going to pick up, guys, at this stage is potentially a double failure reversal off these 76 fibs. So basically, they're pushed above the fibs and now they're basically closed below them. To trade that, guys, to trade that carefully, I would need this candle to close where it is. I would need the next candle ideally to be down here, retrace back up through the Fibonacci's, and then collapse down. Right, the last 10 seconds of this candle are going to be really important, very, very much like yesterday. We saw the candle change its personality quite quickly in the last 10 seconds. No question about that. So last 10 seconds rolling through. Everybody that's touched something so far, guys, it's gone in the right direction, which is great. That 15-minute chart at this point in time, guys, looks like they want to set up a pretty brutal reversal short. Okay, so for the Fibonacci traders, if you want to go short underneath that 76.8 fib, guys, you need the buyers to literally on this current candle push up beyond the Fibonacci. So push up beyond the Fibonacci's, and then we're going to put our sell order underneath the 76.8. So we've got to watch very, very carefully, as if you are a Fibonacci trader, you have got about a 1.5 drop in ratio there. So again, we would love to see the buyers push well beyond that 76.8, guys, and then get absolutely slammed. All right, so we're being a little bit careful about the entry. As we're being a little bit careful about the entry, the 50 fib of the micro trend is all the way down to the previous pivot. So if this is the point where the buyers are going to move up and fail, ideally we get a little bit of buying pushes up. I'm just watching what they're doing, because what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the buyers to move up around here. Around here would be fantastic. They get absolutely slammed, then they fill the sell orders at that delta, and then they move through the upper OSR. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, that was very early. Well, not very early, sorry, that's not correct. They've done exactly what they're meant to do. The question is, did they go high enough to pick up your order? So guys, if you are short underneath the 76.8 fib as a Fibonacci trader at 916, your first target, guys, and risk control point is 911. All right, so if you are short underneath that 76 fib, guys, say 2 points underneath that fib, you've already gone far enough to trigger your risk control. Now, if we do get any buying coming back through and it gets sold again, what we want is we want the sellers to engage that red delta. As if they engage the red delta, they're likely to try and challenge the upper OSR. All right, so if anybody is short underneath that 76.8 Fibonacci, if you are short underneath that, you've gone way beyond your risk control point at this point in time. As now slightly more experienced traders, as you can try and hold this until the turn of the 30 minutes, which is only 2 minutes away. What we've got to be careful of, just so you know, just everything's in context. If they sell back down to the upper OSR and they can't get through there, as particularly if we get a lower low, then other traders around the world are probably going to see this as a swing trigger. All right, so at this stage, they've pushed up to the 76 fib. For the slightly more experienced Fibonacci traders, you may have gone short, guys, at 1.6. If you've gone short at 1.6, your risk control point is 1.1, and they've already gone through the risk control point, or they've gone through your first target, which means you would be sequentially reducing your risk. Now, if we do get, so approaching the last 90 seconds again, guys, so just be really careful, approaching the last 90 seconds.
15-minute candle close in 90 seconds.
If the FESX closes over its R1, as we are not taking that trade again, right? So we're in the last 90 seconds. This is where all of the, dare I say it, all of the bigger traders are now positioning and say, what is the FESX doing? So as if you did take the first touch, it's obviously gone through its risk control point. So well done. Well done. Now, this is a very, very strong buying close right towards the end of the candle. As that is an absolutely classic retrace up to the Fibonacci on this turning bar here. Right, so we'll just wait for the candle to close. We don't have a lower low for a swing trigger, guys. We normally don't take swing triggers off double bottoms.
ES delta forming.
Okay, these buyers are about to give us, guys, this is why we're very careful. They're about to give us a potential efficient CORPC bar with step and trend. We've actually got a higher high, which now loads all of the previous reversals. 15-minute chart, right? Wait for the candle to close before you judge its personality. I think I did say that earlier today. I think I did say that. So at this stage, as we have an efficient CORPC bar with step and trend. So all we can do, guys, if you get a shallow retrace, guys, and a violent rejection, and the Fibonacci, please don't run without me. That would not be very fair. Guys, again, if you get a shallow retrace and a violent rejection, guys, you can be long over the top of this candle as an efficiency trader. Now, if you are long at 939, guys, if that is your algorithm, if you're long at 939, guys, if you're long at 939, you've got a 5-point first target and risk control point. Thank you, Cody. Appreciate that. So at this stage, guys, the only thing I can give you is a long, and that would be for those people that trade efficient candles. All right, so you've got a 1 strength rating underneath the candle. If you do trade, guys, efficient candles long, you are currently long on the market. You are going to try and push this up. So you are going to try and push this trade up. You are going to try and push the trade up to the R1, please. Right, so anybody long on the FDAX, guys, you've got a shallow retrace, a really good rejection. You're long at 939. You're long at 939. You are at this stage, at 939, you are at this stage trying to hold your trade all the way through to the R1. Right, your Fibonacci will probably take you there. We've got a very, very strong, guys, very strong candle on the 15-minute chart. That was looking incredible for a reversal. Guys, wait for the candle to close. It is a completely different personality all over the place. So what does it mean? Guys, what does it ultimately mean? If you are long on the FDAX over the top of the efficient candle, you've gone through a 5-point risk control. You're trying to push it all the way up to the R1. Guys, you're trying to get up to the R1. If the FESX gets caught at the 76 fibs, guys, they're obviously above their R1 as well. So if these buyers on the FESX keep buying, then well done if you're long. Guys, if you're not long, then we have to wait for a new long, or we may actually end up picking up a short. All right, we're not 100% aware of what these guys want to do as they come in towards the close of the candle. MJ, you got a 5 on an ATM. Okay. So guys, what we got there, again, whenever we get these big efficient candles, obviously the strength indicator said go long. If you get a retracement to a Fibonacci and a really quick rejection, they're the ones that are going to bound into profit, as this one is currently doing. Fibonacci says that this is going to go, further. As in fact, they should quite happily go up to the R1. There's no question about that at all. So for those that are long, we're just holding long. For those that are not in a trade, we're just waiting for this candle to confirm its personality. Is it going to be a good one, or is it not going to be a good one? And then we can basically roll from there. So if you are long, please, you're trying to hold long. Right? If you are long, you are trying to hold long. If you're not long, guys, then we're just waiting to see. What occurs with the trade. I would suggest at this stage, if you're long, guys, holding long. There's a lot of momentum in this market to push to the high side. So the 4-hour and 60-minute charts that 4-hour and 60-minute trades, guys, we were talking about earlier. That's basically fueling even the smaller traders down here on the 5-minute chart. If we do get a 15-minute reversal, particularly after this really gallant buying campaign, again, it might be similar to yesterday where we get a really good little reversal that comes on pretty early. So we'll just wait and see. So I've only got, guys, have I got anybody long over the top of the candle for long range targets? We've got a couple of short range targets, but no long range, I don't think. Cody, thank you very much. So that 60-minute fib will now be there. Yep, perfect. Okay. So at this stage, guys, the only traders that are long are those people that can hold efficient candles to the high side. That Fibonacci, guys, we've got a beautiful Fibonacci agreement at the top. That daily Fibonacci can go, guys, unless we get a really lovely sell down. We don't need that daily Fibonacci on. Okay, so at this stage, guys, if you are long, that V3 delta, at 963, guys, is a valid trade. Guys, now if you are going to take the V3 at this stage, guys, you would love to see a really nice little seller retrace, and you want to see them get rejected quickly. Guys, again, it is a valid. This one here is 100% valid. It's outside the range of an efficient candle. You would want to see the sellers sell down first, guys, as they're currently doing. Ideally, guys, volatility is good, volume is good. If you're picking up the delta at 963, your target is 968. That is only for delta traders that trade outside the range of efficient CORPC candles. Guys, now we are at this stage, guys, probably going to push towards the R1. Now, if anybody, guys, so if we've got long range target traders from this one here, right? I do want you to try and push it through to the R1. Right? So I do want you to push through to the R1. The delta's looking pretty good. Delta's just gone through its target. So Toby, nice work. You got 25. That's a great result. So anyone that is long, guys, on the delta, all right, note your target, please, is 968. You've just gone through your target. Josh, well done. Guys, now, again, the only thing I can offer, guys, if you're long on the efficient candle, you're just going to hold long. Guys, the Delta V3 is an opportunity to scale into that trade if you would like to scale into the trade. You are also going to try and scale in and push this up to the R1. Guys, that 133 fib extension there is typically where some sellers would be waiting for these buyers. So if you're targeting the R1, from all the way down here, instead of getting in an argument at the R1, you could literally just say, you know what, you guys touch here, and then I'm going to take a little bit of money off the market. That's fine. The buyers, I see yesterday's high. That's a very interesting place for these guys to be. Yesterday's high means that the FESX is actually trying to trigger a very, very weak daily swing trigger long. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So what does it, guys, what does it ultimately mean? It means that if you were targeting that 133, extension, then you're actually in a relatively good place. Guys, you're in a relatively good place because they've gone to exactly where they're expected to go to. So if you position your target just prior to that 133, guys, you've been paid beautifully, right? Which is really exciting, right? Really, really exciting. Now, we haven't got to the R1, guys. We haven't got to the R1. We knew about the 133. So, guys, really, really good target placement. Really good target placement if that is your style. FESX is looking like it wants to trigger a daily long. So again, we're just going to keep a very close eye on that one. FDAX is a very long way away from trying to do that. So yeah, very, very long way, guys. Very long way away from doing that.
FDXM 5-minute candle close in 60 seconds. FDAX 5-minute candle close in 60 seconds.
Just messing around here.
FDAX delta forming.
All right, let's see what we've got here.
Order filled.
Okay. We are going to pick up a static bar reversal short on the FDAX with incredible ratios. we may also be getting a similar signal as on the FESX. So what we do need, guys, that 133 fib was actually quite divine. All right, so what we need is a drop-in ratio. You can see these guys are arguing about what they're doing now. So big drop of ratio, which is what we've got, is what we now need. What we now need is the buyers to move in. The buyers to move in. So we need the buyers to move in. As your entry point, as for an SPR entry short, as is down here at exactly 956. Now, what we would really love is these buyers to move in early, fail very, very badly, and then pick up a short at, just double checking, 956. Now, with that said, it's got around 20 points of risk. Guys, your stop loss is protected by the R1. I would love to see the buyers push up as they've done. They've failed. It looks to be at the 76 Fibonacci of the turning candle. Okay, let me have a look. 61.8, even more fun. So if you are a ratio-based static bar reversal trader, as we have set up a valid trade. Now, we're going to be careful with this one, guys. We're short at 956. Boom. Risk, guys, so 956, risk control point 951. Guys, now please do control your risk on this. We need them to bolt to the downside. The reason we need them to bolt is because we haven't touched the R1 yet. All right, so if you are short, guys, at 956, we wanted to get engaged early, which has occurred. We've gone through our first target. We now need these guys to plummet. No one's got any risk, please. Now, the reason I say no one's got any risk is if they don't run hard, they might want to go and close the pivot. All right, so they might want to go and close the pivot. Okay, this one. All right.
Order build. Order.
Okay, let's see what we get here.
Static bars fine as well. So we've got the static bar efficient FCAT.
So what we want, guys, like we did yesterday, is we want this candle. We want this candle to form a big reversal candle, like a big reversal candle. Guys, the reason we want that to occur, is if they can't create a big candle, they are likely to try and push back towards the R1, which is clearly what we don't want. Now, if we do get a wriggle on, there is resistance in the market, guys, at 942. If we get below 942, I want the senior traders, guys, to go for 910, please. So I want the senior traders to go for 910 all the way down here, please. Okay, that extension can go. That did us a world of good. That can go. We don't need that. So, oops. Right. So anyone holding short, guys, anybody holding short, I need you to hold short, please. All right. So ratio-based SPR. Guys, I'm just stripping charts off to work out where they're going to go. So I have got 910. If we can get through 940, with confidence, if we can get through 940, we want to go down to there, 915. Come on, please. Off you go, please. So Again, ratio-based SPR, is what we are looking for is strong sell-down candles with really lovely follow-through, right? So strong sell-down candles with lovely follow-through. That is what we are looking for. That is what we are looking for. Now, that being said, 915 is a buy. Okay, so what have we got? We've got a relatively strong candle, guys, on the FDAX. We've got a stunningly strong candle on the FESX, right? 4-point turning bar short, guys, on FESX. What does it ultimately mean, guys? For those that are short, we want you to hold short, right? For those that are short, we want you to hold. Now, this gap down, guys, this gap down is a good sign, but I don't want anybody having any risk on the trade. Now, if the buyers do move back up to our entry point and move back above our entry point, okay, we're looking to try and pick up, guys, the same entry again. Now, let's just see what we can come up with here. So again, as this is a really pivotal point, the long range traders don't like these buyers coming back in. There's no question about that. What it ultimately means is we've picked up, so we had a static bar reversal short. We wanted that to run and run and run and run. It's basically got to a resistance level here and failed. It's got to resistance and failed. Now, with this retrace, guys, coming back through, with the buyers moving back through, if the buyers push up here and absolutely slam the sellers, we could look for a re-entry at 955, provided you promise me you use a tight risk control point. Now, that's a 4-point turning bar short on the FESX. Guys, that normally means these guys get absolutely annihilated, is what it normally means. All right, so let's just see what these buyers do.
FDXM Delta
we are in the last, guys, we're just crossed into the last 15 minutes. Now, I would not be surprised at all if the buyers try and push for the R1. So that's why I was saying to everybody, guys, please make sure you control your risk quickly on this one, because if it doesn't bolt, if it doesn't like literally go banshee to the downside, it's probably because they want to touch the R1. That's probably what they're doing. All right, so at this stage, now that 4-point turning bar is on the FESX. If the FDAX is now, we've got a higher high, guys, on the FDAX. If the FDAX is going to go down, guys, it's because the buyers are retracing on the FESX and failing badly. And that means the buyers will try and push for the R1, guys, on the FDAX. Then they're going to pick up all of the sell orders underneath that static bar reversal, and they're going to have another crack at reversing. So how are we going to pull it apart, guys? At this stage, we have a higher high, which is reloaded the static bar reversal. We are in the last 15 minutes. So guys, ultimately, that's left us in a very, very difficult position, because if these guys push to the R1 and then fail, this is going to be a much better trade, The higher high would typically suggest that the static bar reversal is reloaded. So I would suggest, guys, at this stage, we're in the last 90 seconds of the candle. I would suggest what we're probably looking for at this point in time is an R1 reversal. An R1 reversal would be amazing. Or these buyers pushing up on the FDAX, I should say, towards the end of this candle, they get absolutely hammered, and that's going to create a static bar reversal short. And we're going to be going basically for exactly the same black line. So 940 is effectively a resistance in the market, as the next resistance is not to 912. So again, let's see what these guys have got. We've got a lower low on the FDAX and a swing trigger point into the R1. So I'm not surprised nobody's buying the swing trigger long into the R1. That would not be very smart. We've got a swing trigger long loading on the FESX into a daily 61.8 where the buyer's lost control. We've got a drop of efficiency on the 15-minute charts. Right, so you've got a big efficient candle followed by a loss of efficiency. The 15-minute chart then gapped down before these buyers are kind of trying to get to the R1. If they can't, if these buyers can't get anywhere near the R1, then that is a sign that the sellers are defending it. All right, so again, what do we got, guys? 10 minutes. So we got 10 minutes until the turn of the hour. So beginner traders, if you've got any questions, now's a great time to ask. For the slightly more experienced traders, guys, my preference is an R1 reversal. That SBR though, guys, that SBR has reloaded. Guys, the SBR has reloaded. So if you trade a reloaded static bar reversal, guys, if your entry is at 955, you've already hit your first risk control point. Guys, so that means if they keep doing this, if they keep basically triggering, in fact, the entry's actually not at 5.5, it's at 5.6. If they keep triggering, guys, early, they basically don't know what to do. Now, the long range short traders, the people that have gone short and are trying to hold their short for 15 minutes, you're obviously going to continue to try and hold this short and to see what the FESX does. Guys, over here, static bar reversal short, 4-point turning bar reversal short. So classic series of signals. The buyers have then pushed back on this candle here on FESX, guys, and impressed absolutely no one. Right? No one is impressed by that at all. So at this stage, as I honestly think the FDAX is probably going to try. They're probably going to try for an R1 reversal. If the buyers can't get there, guys, then we're going to get a really, really lovely sell down. And again, I would suggest these guys are going to try and sell down to around about the 920 mark. That level is basically gone now. So we're kind of right on the edge of what are they going to do. FESX, if we do get a wriggle on to the downside, guys, the FESX is going to chase its R1. So the FESX will chase its R1. Now, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to put a circle on the original SBR because everybody that wanted that has actually got it. We also spoke about the efficient candle. So the efficient candle, if you are an efficient candle trader, I think Breezy got that one, which was really good. And then we spoke about the delta. What is the delta?
Straight at the top of the indicator and the
Was that delta right there? That delta there. That one right there. The delta outside the range of an efficient CORPC bar. Okay, now note there, guys, note that with the deltas today, just here, there was no assuming a close over the upper OSR. So no assuming a close over the upper OSR, which is awesome because if we're assuming a close over a pivot, we can't trade. These guys jumped over the pivot and then just started climbing. So therefore the delta was okay to trade. All right, here we go. These guys are going to try, guys, they're going to try for an R1 reversal. Now, I would suggest, guys, we're better off waiting for the R1 reversal. It's going to be a little bit painful to watch, but we are better off waiting for the hourly turn. We're literally in the danger zone where lots of people make mistakes. All right, so we are in the danger zone at this point in time. What do I mean by danger zone? Again, a double failure reversal here would be a lot more fun than a single failure. Single failure, literally they just push up, hit it, and you sell the market and you're off and racing. Now, if you are a single failure reversal trader, guys, if that is you, guys, you can wait for them to hit the pivot and say, all right, Lockie, I'm going to sell. What I'd suggest you do, guys, is run a counter Fibonacci like that and sell underneath those Fibonacci just there. Okay, so if that's the case, if you're a single failure reversal trader, you pick them up at the R1 because of the higher high, then you've gone far enough to control your risk. As if you're underneath that 88.6, you've also gone far enough to control your risk. What you want guys, if you are a single failure reversal trader at a pivot, which some of you are, is you want this candle to turn red. All right, now you want this higher high to fuel that static bar reversal entry short there. Right, that's what you're looking for. So you pick up pivot-based reversal or a Fibonacci-based reversal. You now want the green candle to turn red. You want to pick up all of the sell orders, guys, at 956. So you want to pick up all of the sell orders sitting here. I'll just double check the price, 956. There's a bunch of sell orders sitting there. So in a perfect world, if you're short off the R1, guys, you're still short. If you're short off the Fibonacci's, you're still short. What you want them to do is instead of going green again and then coming back down, you want this candle just to flop red relatively quickly and then go and pick up that SBR. Now we are in the last candle of the hour. Do not be surprised at all if those Fibonacci's get honored perfectly. So just watch what they do. The double failure reversal traders, right? You are looking for the buyers to move up to the R1 ideally and then get absolutely annihilated. Double failure Fibonacci traders, you're looking for the buyers to move up, kiss the Fibonacci, and then you're entering underneath the lower set of fibs. We are in the Widowmaker candle, guys. This is the candle that people get caught out on. So beginner traders, just be very careful on this particular candle, Now, if you're short off the R1, guys, if you are short off the R1, you've obviously gone through your first target and your risk control point. Now, you're hoping for them to bolt. If they don't bolt, you have no risk. If they don't bolt, you have no risk. Now, what we've set up, guys, is just a series of reversal signals, like one after the other, just bang, 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 one after the other. So
FDEX delta forming.
okay, so the sellers are not ready to run yet, guys. We are in the last candle of the hour. So what we're setting up for is for those people that don't take single failure reversals off R1s, as if that is not your style of trading, you're looking for the buyers to move up for a double failure reversal. As a double failure reversal, DFR is very much more most people's style. If you are short under the R1, guys, which I know a number of you are, if you're short under the R1, you want the buyers to move up and then you want them to get slammed, right? You want the sellers to fill these orders here. Jack, spot on the mark, mate. How are you? I hope you're awesome. So, guys, you want the sell orders filled here. So that's what you're looking for. At this stage, the FESX gapped down at the start of the candle, which is a big hint that the sellers are thinking, nah, don't like the buying, but we're just waiting. Yes, mate. Yeah. So a little bit of news coming through, guys. A little bit of news coming through. Just watching the pure price movement, guys. The volume of the market is still very good, right, for this time. So there are people that are very interested, very, very interested. That level, what have we got here?
FDEX delta forming.
Okay, so they might be creeping back up to the R1. So we're about to get into the last 90 seconds, guys, of the last candle of the hour. That is not a time. That is not a time to be taking a trade. What we are going to find, guys, is that we're going to watch the R1 pivot can vary between FDXM. Yes, Jeff, it can. So it means that the FDXM traders need to trade the FDAX pivot. Yeah, so you guys need to trade the FDAX pivot. 100% correct. Right. So
5-minute candle close in 60
now
seconds.
I may still have people short under the R1, guys. If I've got people short under the R1, if you are short under the R1, trying to hold your trade for 15 minutes. What you don't want is you don't want the buyers to surge in at the close of the hour and stop you out at break even and then turn around and plummet. What we are setting up, guys, is a ratio-based static bar reversal short. So we are setting up a ratio-based SBR short, guys, for the new hour. Now, what we do need to see, we've got 30 seconds to go. What we do need to see, excuse me, what we do need to see is we need to see the buyers moving in the new hour and getting absolutely demolished. So that's what we ultimately need to see. The 50 fib, guys, the 50 fib of the micro trend is here. Right, so the 50 fib of the micro trend is there. I'm just going to get rid of that Fibonacci for a moment. Okay. We have a valid static bar reversal short, guys, 1 point underneath that candle at 963. Guys, at 963. Now the key, guys, the key with the reversal is we've got a really lovely, really lovely drop in ratios. What we do need is the buyers to show inside the new hour and then the sellers to annihilate them. Now, guys, if you are going to go short, okay, if you are going to go short, guys, at 6.3, your first target and risk control point is 5.8. Right, so 6.3 through to 5.8. Okay, now I've just been ATM'd, guys, on that exact. Okay, I was ATM'd on one of my positions. Now, what does it mean? Guys, if you're a ratio based, Caleb, if you're ratio based, guys, if you're a ratio based trader, what you are trying to do is take the ratio-based short down to the ratio-based extensions. All right, so the extension looks like this. All right, so again, as you can see, these guys are cruising down to their 133 extension. If we move through these extensions, if we move through the extensions, then we can use the extension on the bigger candle. So if you are short, yes, it is, Caleb, you're on the money. If you are short, we're trying to hold short. We're trying to hold short. But please don't override, guys, please don't override your risk control. If we do end up getting a 4-point turning bar short here, then we're going to probably pick up that delta. And if we pick up the delta, these guys are going to go further. So we've got resistance in the market, guys, now at 930. All right, 930. So if these sellers decide they're going to get a wriggle on, as they're going to go to that level. What I would suggest today, guys, would be just being really careful, right? Really careful. Those that are short under the R1 holding for 15 minutes, please make sure you've got no risk on this trade. It's because we've got a lower low. They tried to swing long. We've got a brand new lower low. They could try and swing long. So anybody short under the R1, let's say around the 977 mark or even 976 mark, if you're short at that point, guys, please try and hold this short. You're going to try and hold short to a minimum of 930, right? A minimum of 930, but you have no risk on the trade. All right, so that's where we want them to go, but you have no risk on this trade, as in the earlier R1 trade. Now, we may end up with a 4-point turning bar short. If we end up with a 4-point turning bar, guys, we're 1 minute and 50 away. If we end up with that, then we've got a really lovely sort of ratio-based SBR, then a very, very strong sell-down candle. Then we're looking to enter outside the range of the sell-down candle and try and get these guys to run, because that's ultimately what we're after. Now, very frustrating, guys, when you get ATM'd a couple of times. There is very frustrating. It is very frustrating, but at the same time, the ATM is designed to protect you. Now, the NASDAQ and S&P 500, guys, are selling hard.
FDXM 5-minute candle close in 60 seconds. FDX 5-minute candle close in 60 seconds.
Okay. I'm just talking to the other live trading room. So you can see, guys, these guys are not ready. These guys are not ready to reverse. So if you are short from the R1, you're trying to hold for 15 minutes and you've got no risk. All right. So you're trying to hold for 15, you've got no risk. At this stage, have I said the R1 traders have got no risk? I think I might have said that. So you guys have got no risk. Because what they may do, we've got we've got a two-phase complex retracement on the FESX. We've now got a two-phase complex retracement on the FDAX. Guys, it means they're going to try and swing us long back into the R1, which we are not going to take as a trade. That is not a very smart trade. They're going to try and do it. I'd suggest there's a whole lot of people out there in the world that have got the wrong R1. So just be aware of that, guys. There are pivot files out there. There are pivot files out there that are incorrect. So they've got the R1 at the wrong level. We clearly don't have the R1 at the wrong level, so we'll stick with our pivots. Let's just see what we get here. Dear. All right, for the Nathans of the world, those that are short under the R1, you guys are trying to hold for 15 minutes, please, of which you've got 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go. The higher high, guys, does allow for the static bar reversal to be re-entered again. The deal with the static bar reversal is 5, 10, 15, 20. It's 25 points worth of risk, guys, which is right on the edge of the risk profile. Right on the edge of the risk profile. Again, guys, the trade is this static bar reversal if you can hold it, and if you can hold it for 15 minutes. If you can hold for 15 minutes. Now, for the R1 reversals, you guys are also trying to hold for 15 minutes. And this is where it now becomes a game of, are they going to break down resistances at 935? And then, guys, if they do sell, understanding that we've limited our risk, if they do sell, yeah, then 910. See, they're just not ready to sell yet. They're not ready to sell. Now, some days your ATM triggers and like, oh, silly ATM, this is ridiculous. On a day like today, you're looking at the ATM going, well, okay, I could have got a 5 and a nothing, or a 6 and a nothing, or a 6 and a +2, but that's a lot better than a minus. It's a lot better than a minus. Now, again, guys, it looks like, again, premature analysis on the FESX because the candle hasn't closed yet, but that looks like it's going to produce another 4-point turning bar short. If it does, the FESX is going to hunt its R1. And for those that are not short, we need a higher high in order to take body-based SBRs. All right, so we need a higher high, which we don't have on the current candle, to target this SBR here. Okay, we've got a higher high here to target this one here. But again, if we were short at exactly 956, it needs to go to 951, and it's already gone there. Oscar, how are you? Yeah, so Oscar, it's not a deception. So it's a good observation. It's not a deception because you can't deceive the futures markets. You can deceive the forex markets 100% because they're traded by brokers. So if you want a genuine reversal like we got yesterday, what will occur is you'll get a static bar reversal like this little one here. Then you'll get a strong selling candle, but then they'll break outside the range of the strong selling candle, which is what they haven't done today. So it's not about a deception or people trying to trick you. We've got a reversal here that's paid. We've got a reversal off the R1 that's paid, and we've got a reversal here that's paid, but they're only paying their short range targets. They're not paying long range targets at the moment, but that could change very, very quickly. So yeah, big difference between futures markets and, let's say, Forex or options or CFDs or binary options, particularly Forex. Yeah, particularly Forex. The big difference is these markets can't be manipulated against what we're doing because there are no OTC brokers here. There's no over-the-counter brokers. if we were trading Forex and they were doing this, I would say the brokers are manipulating the market against us. 100%, but we're not trading Forex for that very reason. For that very reason. All right, so what we've got, it's a great observation. What we've got is now is we're looking at double failure reversals off the R1. What needs to occur is we need to close underneath the R1 in order to pick up a double failure reversal. And again, we don't want to enter a trade in the last 90 seconds. If this candle does close over the R1, then we are looking for a retracement. We're looking for a retracement and a rejection as in order to go long over the top of the candle. Now, the S&P 500 and NASDAQ are actually reversing after an aggressive sell down. So I would suggest for those that want to go long over the top of this efficient candle, right? If you want to go long, you must wait for the sellers to show. Right? So you must wait for the sellers to show. Like we did last time, you're looking for a structured retrace. So I suggest, guys, a structured retrace to the R1 or the 23.6 fib. So please don't just put an order on now, guys, because again, if they then start retracing, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm on the wrong side of the market. This doesn't look very good. Now, today, guys, so you note today, unlike yesterday, today the reversals, we're only picking up really short range targets, and that's because of that 60-minute move and the 4-hour move. So if you can pick up a valid long trade, guys, you want to try and sit on the longs as long as you possibly can. With the sells, we're cutting the risk off quickly because if they don't bolt with us, we don't want to get caught on the wrong side of the market. Very important. So at this stage, guys, the black diamond delta is valid at 997. Guys, if you are a delta trader, just be aware, guys, above 997, you've got 25,000, right? So we're back to 25,000, which is the round number. You're back to 25,000, which is the round number from yesterday. So these guys may be trying to reverse off 25,000. Because they literally got within a whisker of 25,000 and said, all right, we're going to sell the market down. So what does that ultimately mean? If we touch 25,000, which they've got within a point of it, which is a technical close, if we then got back underneath the R1, we would now be looking for R1 based reversals with low ratio candles. Okay, so we are now looking at R1 reversals with low ratio candles. FESX is now 1, 2, 3 phase complex retracement, which means they're eyeing off either a 30-minute chart trade or a 60-minute chart trade. And again, there's a 60-minute climactic reversal to the downside. All right, so what that ultimately means, guys, no clear guidance on this one other than Fibonacci. Yeah, that'll be FESX, that'll be a 76 Fibonacci failure from there to there. Yeah, okay, perfect. So on the 15-minute charts, if we got a relatively strong 15-minute chart close on the FESX in 2 minutes time, so 1 minute and 54, if we were to get a relatively strong close, okay, what we've got, guys, is a situation on the FDAX now, right? I'm just watching the FESX. You've actually now got a structured retrace and a structured rejection, and it's occurring in the last 90 seconds of the candle, right? So for the new traders, we don't like taking trades in the last 90 seconds of the candle. Normally, when we pick up a really, really good trade, the trade will set up. We get picked up normally in the first 35 to 40 seconds of the candle, and it normally does exactly what it's required to do. Now, again, once they start dancing around the last 90 seconds, as we don't actually have clear guidance as to what they're doing. Now, in terms of ratio drop, guys, Breezy said earlier today, it's all about ratios. We've had effectively 2 ratio drops at the top that have only gone to short range targets. We had a delta outside the range of a ratio candle, and we've got this strength, this really, really strong candle here. So if you're just following, guys, the ebb and flow of the candlesticks, today has actually been a relatively good day if you just follow the ebb and flow of those candlesticks. Now, if we do close under the R1, guys, we've got 30 seconds to go. This is a very, very strong 15 minute. Sorry, guys, I've got an ATM running, guys, off that 25,000. If we do close this 15-minute chart candle, guys, if we do close the 15-minute chart candle, this is going to be a very, very strong candle. As we are therefore saying, righto, Lockie, where is the 50 fib of the micro trend? Right, we've gapped under the R1. There's the 50 fib of the micro. Okay. That's an incredibly strong FESX candle. So what we've got, guys, is we've got a drop-in ratio on the 15-minute charts. What that ultimately means is if we get a nice buyer push back to the R1, then you are looking at taking a trade, guys, as an R1 reversal. If you are a pivot reversal trader, you need the buyers to push up, get well above the R1 or get above the R1, and then we're looking to sell, guys, at the bottom of that red candle. Now, selling at the bottom of the red candle does not assume a close over the 50 fib of the micro trend because they've just gapped under the 50 fib of the micro trend. Now, if that is the case, the only enemy to this trade will be way beyond our 5-point risk control point, right? Way beyond it. Now, again, the buyers are cruising in, so just let the buyers cruise in. We want the buyers to push in, as we want the buyers to push in, and then we want them to get absolutely hammered, as that is what we're ultimately doing. As now, again, this approach, guys, the approach that we're using, a candlestick analysis approach, is designed to make sure that we don't get romanced into the market early, because a lot of people will just be sitting there going, oh my gosh, push the button, they're going to go without me. They're not going to go without you if the buyers retrace here and then the sellers slam them, right? So they're not going to go without us. There's no such thing as going without us. Now, guys, I don't know if we did have any traders. Take the single failure reversal off the R1, right? So I don't know if anybody took that trade. Sorry, just cancelling stops, guys. So I don't know if anybody took that R1 trade. So I'm going to mark it as a pink. At this stage, guys, we're still looking for a sell. We can't buy the market. We need the buyers to push through as they're currently doing. The sell would be positioned, guys, at exactly 972, right here. We're not assuming a close over the 50 fib of the micro trend. You want these buyers to push up. You would need the sellers to grab them and say, absolutely not, and basically turn this candle red. And if they turn the candle red, they are highly likely to move through our first target and risk control point. So guys, I don't think anybody did get that purple. So I'm going to mark that as a purple and put it in my LTR report. Saying I don't think anybody got that trade, even though we spoke about it as a potential single touch reversal. Now again, guys, so your order at this point in time, we've got a really nice ratio drop in the market. Your order cannot go above 972. If you're going to try and set an order, guys, underneath the R1, guys, at this point in time, you're trading straight into the 50 fib of the micro trend, which is not what we do.
FDEX delta forming. FDX and delta forming.
All right, so we're just waiting, guys. We've been patiently waiting. All right, now you see what these buyers are doing. So the buyers are trying to hold us above the R1. The sellers are trying to get them back under the R1. That is why the FESX is basically selling down to its R1. Guys, so at this stage, I've got no one that is short on the FDAX, guys, at 972 because the trade has not been filled.
Wanting to play the efficiency, but
Now, they may want to fill that order in the last 90 seconds, which can be a little bit, yeah, they are going to fill in the last 90 seconds. All right, so you guys, if you are short at 972, because you're just following the ebb and flow of the candles, then it's the same drill as before, guys. 972 entry, 5-point risk control, long range sell target. Now, guys, at this stage, the FESX is at its R1. All right, so those that don't enter in the last 90 seconds, we're waiting for the buyers to show again. Nice, waiting for the buyers to move up, test the... We're waiting for the buyers to move up, test the R1, and then fall, Now, guys, just so you're ratio-wise, that is a ratio-based static bar reversal short, the little green candle. So if you are a ratio trader, guys, and you're going to enter underneath the candle, guys, just to quantify, entry point at 6.8, first target and risk control point 6.3. Now, have I got anybody short under the R1 after we got the retrace and got the rejection and you got in on the black line? Now, if you are short on that one, guys, you are through your first target. You are through potentially a second target. You want a monster red candle to close here. Yeah, Nath, how are you, mate? I hope you're fantastic. So if you're short, guys, underneath the SBR, underneath the R1, you effectively want this red candle to end up being a massive red candle. Now, FESX, guys, is pushing well beyond its R1. It is highly likely, guys, highly unlikely the buyers on the FESX will be able to get back above the R1. So for those that are short on FDAX, please hold. Andrew Hain, well done. I want you guys to hold, please. Hold. We've got resistance in the market at 947, which is right there. If we move through 947, guys, the resistance in the market is 910. So this is, we're trying to go back to where we were last time, 910. Well done, mate. Yeah, MJ, nice work. Well done, everybody. So, guys, if you are short under the green static bar reversal, if you're short under the R1, if you're short under the red SBR after the retrace and the rejection, yes, it got filled in the last 90 seconds. If you are short, you're trying to hold short. Now, naturally, guys, the way we trade, you have no risk on your shorts now. You've got no risk on your shorts. I would really love them to get down through this level here, right? That level there. If they even stick their toe below the water, guys, I'm going to make it a little bent line there. If they go through my little bent line, this is going to end up being a very impressive trade. Let's bounce. Okay, so we've got a fair bit of bouncing going on. Okay, the S&P is selling, guys, hard. S&P is selling hard. That is a monster, guys. That is a monster FESX candle. Right, so the FESX, the sellers are very, very strong on the FESX. What does it ultimately mean, guys? If the FESX threatens its upper OSR, so if the FESX is to threaten its upper OSR, it'll go for the 50 of the day. Guys, and now, guys, if you're available for this platinum launch webinar that is on tonight, I'm actually going to be analyzing why we did what we did in the LTR today. If you need, guys, even if you're not thinking of doing platinum, guys, if you want to come along to the webinar, it'll give you a really good idea of why we did what we did. Right, so that webinar is on tonight. Guys, 30 minutes after we finish here. Bali, I spoke to Bali today. As they are absolutely amped to have us staying at their resort again in Bali, which will be hilarious. It's 5 months and 5 days for those that are wondering about Bali. Guys, our advanced course. It's 5 months and 5 days, and we're on. which is really quite exciting. All right, now at this stage, guys, what have we got? Anyone that's short, guys, if you use a 5-point first target, 10-point second target, 20-point third target, something along those lines, you've gone through all of those targets. Now, if you basically go for a short range target and a very long range second target, guys, you haven't gone through your long range second target, but you've got no risk on these trades, please, guys. So that is paramount to what we do. We cut our risk quickly, guys. Cut our risk quickly, and we let the profit run. Guys, so these guys have literally sold straight down to that sell zone, straight down to the sell zone, and set up a brand new reversal. So at this stage, guys, I'm going to mark only one signal at the top here, guys, which will be the ratio-based SBR short. Did anybody take any other trade? Guys, I know Nathan is short under the R1 after the retrace and rejection. Guys, sellers own the stair step now. Sellers own the stair step. So that is, don't act on it, please. That is a static bar reversal long straight into a pivot. No one that knows what they're doing is going to take a static bar reversal long. Breezy, well done, a plus 20. That's fantastic, mate. No one is going to take an SBR long there, guys. No one is going to take an SBR long. So if you are still short, you need to try and hold short. Nice. We're basically trying to hold this short for 15 minutes, of which we've got 9 minutes to go. So there is no way, guys. I tell you what today reinforces. Please make sure you have the right pivot indicator. Please make sure you got the right one. If you've got the wrong pivot, you'd have no idea why these guys are reversing where they are. So Breezy, that's an awesome result, mate. 20, that's an awesome result. Massive well done. Massive well done. So at this stage, guys, what we're doing, I can't believe it. We've got 3 minutes until the LTR. That's a great trade, guys. So anyone that's positive today, anyone who's positive, you are a ratio-based trader. All right. Now, I'm not going to mark the second R1 reversal there, guys. I'll just pick on the SBR. But we've had a ratio drop here for short range targets, ratio drop for short range targets, ratio drop for short range targets. I sound like a broken record. Delta outside the range of a ratio increase. Just a strong candle, guys. And we had our original, guys, higher and reversal, which should be there outside the range of the active candle that a number of you got, and that went really, really well, guys. So classic sort of climactic reversal on open. With the FESX, guys, with the FESX below its R1, so with the FESX below its R1, I would suggest at this stage, if we see any more selling on the FESX towards the upper OSR, these guys will try and get down to the 50 fib of the day. If they get below that, they're actually going to go for the lower OSR on the FESX, which is quite a way down. So really good point, guys. Oscar brought up a point before. Guys, which are really exciting when Oscar said it's because the market is being played with. I don't know the language you used. Oscar, see the chart. The market's deception is clear. Yeah, just when it comes to deception, guys, within the market, it's very, very common. It's a great point Oscar's raised, guys. It's very, very common in the game of Forex that the Forex brokers will inject volume into the market to try and deceive you into taking a trade. Guys, the beauty of the futures markets, just so everyone knows, is it's protected against that because there are no OTC brokers. Guys, so there are no brokers on the other side of the market manipulating this against us because the futures markets are just too big to manipulate. It's just way, way, way too big. Christian, we've had in the LTR, we've had a really, really good day. We picked up a climactic reversal here for short range targets. Then we picked up for those who could hold the risk, we got a delta long. Now, the reason we got the delta long, got a really, really lovely, that candle's got a 12 rating behind it. So incredible 12 rated candle. Breezy will do. Incredible 12 rated candle. As a result, we've got this delta here. Some of the traders picked up this really, really strong candle there. We picked up a ratio-based sell here, a ratio-based sell here. Some of the traders picked up an R1 reversal here, but I'm not going to mark it as a valid trade because it was only a single touch reversal. And then we picked up this reversal here. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades we spoke about, and they've all gone effectively where they need to go, which is good fun.
Amazing.
Yeah, really, really good fun.
I'm as usual very
And
very happy to hear that.
that's all we've done. The rules kept us out of 2 or 3 trades that have actually turned against us, which is great. And also our ATMs today, because we use an early first target, then a quick risk control. A number of people have been ATM'd on these reversals, but then the market's turned against them, and the ATM was probably the best thing in the world.
You see, guys, how good is it to have rules in place? They protect you from bad trades, right?
Volume warming on FDX.
Mate, the key with rules in trading is that some people out there in the world, they don't like rules. They literally they don't like rules. The only reason we have rules in trading is the market has a dynamic way and a very, very emotional way of moving itself around. So the market is an emotional beast in itself. If you combine your emotion with their emotion, it'll just chew you to pieces. If you wait for the candle to close and then you say, right, this candle means this, therefore we're doing that, it's very hard to get caught. It's very hard to get caught on the wrong side of the market. Very hard to get caught on the wrong side. So, mate, it's all about rules. And Oscar had a great point before about market manipulation. It's all about rules, and it's all about making sure that, okay, when the market is bouncing around like it is now, we hold out, and as soon as we get a valid trade, we jump in, and it goes from there. So
100%, and I'm very happy to hear that you guys have such person like Lachlan, who can help you guide the markets and help you understand what's better to do in this difficult journey. From my side, just a quick reminder to all of you, I just received a little update during the live stream that we are live with our wonderful promotion for CFD accounts. 5K account is now available with 50% discount. It's just valid for 5K account for CFDs. So for all of the guys here who are trading futures but wanted to try out our CFD product, you can check out our website, our social media for more details, and the reminder that we don't have a margin and risk per trade idea rule anymore. That's all from my side. Thank you very much, guys, for joining the live stream today. Absolutely wonderful to see all of you. Absolutely thankful for Lachlan to join us and host it. Lachlan, thank you very much for doing that. And we all gonna wish you a wonderful rest of your day.
Perfect. Well, we're 30 minutes out from our Platinum launch webinar. So we're launching our advanced course in Bali tonight. So I'm going to go and get ready, mate. And then I'm going to be taking all those Bali Platinum people through why we took the trades we took today as a precursor to this is what it means when you're really disciplined. So that's what we're getting ready. That's what we're getting ready to do now. So it should be good fun. So
that's great.
Perfect.
All right, guys, enjoy, have fun, Lachlan, in your next session. And guys, have a nice rest of the day. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, TTP. Thank you, Christian. Bye-bye-bye.